Hello there, welcome to my review for Manor. In this video, I'm going to talk about what the game is all about, the good things, the bad things, how early access is the early access, and most importantly, is the hype worth it? Or is it just yet another game off the line? So, first of all, we're gonna be talking about the introduction of the game. So, Manor is a medieval city builder, and as you can see already, it looks quite nice. We have a tiny scope at the beginning, we build a little tiny hamlet at the end of the world, and eventually we will fight for this entire map in the version 1.0, eventually also with enemy factions. Our goal is to control as much land as possible while building a decent city around it. We have the typical culprits at hand. We have to fight hunger, we have to fight cold by providing firewood, we have to provide logistics chains, production chains, and of course housing. So there's really nothing that you aren't familiar with if you have already played a city builder or two. The game itself is oozing atmosphere. It's very good at reflecting medieval life and the problems of all that, and to me personally it feels like a wonderful made spiritual successor to Banished. So let's get into the bad parts first. I want to get this off the table so we can talk about all the good things, because I want to get ahead of myself. There's almost nothing bad about this game. First of all, though, there are no dramatic innovations to the whole city builder genre. The game is very classic in what it does. You build housing, you build production chains, you assign workers, you assign logistics chains, you do trade eventually, you expand your empire, and you make sure that your people stay happy, well fed, and your job is just to keep the wheels turning. That is something that we are pretty familiar with, but that ain't a bad thing at all, That's what I expect when I buy a city builder. There's just nothing in it where I said, wow, I've never seen something like that ever before in a city builder. But that being said, that is really my biggest complaint that I had, if that is any, because I'm personally always into a good and well-made city builder. The other thing, it suffers a little bit from the jack-of-all-trades issue. The game itself is not only a city builder, you also have a combat system attached to it, there's a diplomacy system, and eventually there will be other factions to conflict around. So there's a little bit of everything, and in the current early access version, it feels as if the game is trying to achieve a little bit too much all at once, but here I can only say, hey, it's an early access version, so I don't feel like this is even a fair point of criticism, but it has something that... It is something that I had on my mind while I was playing the early access, that I felt like everything could be a little bit deeper, but, well, it might as well happen, and I see a really good chance that it will. And the last bit of a complaint of mine is, well, the combat system didn't blow me out of the socks. We have a classic system which has footmen, spear dudes, and polearm dudes, and archer dudes, so yeah, we can already foresee in which direction that goes. We have to supply these guys, and the commands are very RTS-like. The people that you command can then use formation stances. It's all very well made. I don't want to say it's bad or anything, but I personally, when I'm playing a city builder, I don't need all those things. I would have been a happy man without it, but, well, we'll see where it leads. I mean, after all, like I said, it's an early access and everything here is expandable. So, nothing more bad to say about it in all honesty. Let's go to the good stuff. First of all, I mean, look at this game. It's a rainy, dreary day in my village, and still the game gives me the feeling that there's a lot of adventure in here. Everybody's doing something. All the people in your city are interactive. You can watch them, you can follow them, and there is a lot of atmosphere to the game, which is amazing. Considering that this is an indie production and not a AAA, I feel blown out of my socks just by the visuals alone. But it's not only the visuals, the game is very accessible. Due to the fact that you control all your supply chains and workforces family-wise, it's all quite easy to keep an overview. So you have a grand total of families, and every building gets those families assigned workforce wise, and then you just balance it out around that. So the constructions and the building are not hard to understand. First you build your housing, then you build some collectors. You see there's wood collection, there's firewood collection, there's berries collection, there's hunters. It's all quite straightforward, and you quickly understand what you're supposed to do. So that's pretty cool, and I really enjoy that part. The complexity grows quite substantially. Just to give you an impression, when we are going towards farming, we have to first grow the wheat on the fields, which is a pretty realistic system. The wheat draws nutrients out of the field, so you should really invent some ideas how to keep the fertility on bay. Plowing is hell of a work. Your farmers can host more workers than any other business. You have to mill the stuff, and then you have to bake the stuff, and that gives you an impression about how tedious medieval life is. And the best part about it is it gives you a challenge to work around, because that's only one production chain. There's several production chains in it. There is livestock herding right now, which introduces trading of livestock, and, well, there's a lot of little mechanics in there, which, well, not mechanics, little production chains in there, which impose all their different challenges, and you'll be struggling for workforce, you'll be considering what to do first, and that's all a really, really good thing. All in all, I had with this game the feeling that the complexity hits a sweet spot in the middle ground, where I feel like, yeah, a nerd like me likes games a little bit more complex. It's not Songs of Six complexity in terms of city builder, but it is more than enough to challenge me to think about how I draw my supply lines and all, and I enjoy myself while not feeling overwhelmed by the challenge. That is impressive. It's well made, and I really, really like that. The livestock part of the game is also very fun, because you have to provide not only pasture space, you have to import and export them. Heck, you have a complete trading system just around livestock, which I love, because that's what medieval times have been a lot about. Trading of animals. Big topic. And this game reflects that quite decently, with even having its own livestock trading post and several buildings around that. I really enjoyed that. That's very thoughtful, very detailed recreation of medieval times that I really, really like. And I already mentioned it a moment ago, I also see a lot of potential in this game. When we look at all these things that we see down here, this is only the beginning. There's a lot of materials already implemented into the game. Let me show you here. So we have several different crops that we're working with. The crafting materials go down to quite sophisticated materials. So there's really a lot already to explore. And like I said, it's early access. I can easily see that the late game high-end things for Mandalorians can be really, really interesting, and there will be a lot of new things that we don't have yet. What's left to say? The building user interface is magnificent. Building roads is fun. Let me show you here. We can just wind a road around that building just like that, and then we set up another point like this. And organically, we weave roads around places in the city, and they are just looking nice. It's not complex, it's easy to apply, and it's really, really cool. Housing is also a very interesting concept. We assign plots that are struck around the areas as we want to. As you see, even this oddly shaped road that we had can be used. And now we get to select how many housing units we want to put in there. We can also assign that every housing unit is supposed to have more room, like this, and that's pretty cool. That's really, really cool. Also, housing has a lot of nice options. Not only are we supposed to upgrade the houses by fulfilling their several supplies, we also can have backyard extensions. Backyard extensions allow your people to do something specific at home, be it growing your own veggies, holding your own hens and whatnot. It is really, really cool. And once you grow further on your development road, people can do more and more sophisticated things at home. This allows you to have sort of a side production of all manner of different things that you can configure yourself, which is one of the most interesting things in this game. Everything here works expansion-wise with a wealth system, which is pretty interesting. There's regional wealth, every household contributes, and or trading exports contribute. So with the wealth that the community provides, we can then invest back into new things, which is a pretty cool system. Also, all the goods get bartered at the local marketplace, so your people are really pretty much interacting with all the goods that are produced very directly. This game does almost no abstractions when it comes down to the trading part or the commerce part, which impressed me a lot, because this game does simulate medieval economy much better than most games that I've played so far, while staying pretty accessible, easy, understandable, and I love it. It's really, really cool. That's really, really cool. Last but not least, I want to say about the good parts about this game. The early access is already very expansive. There is much to do here. It'll take a while until you are done with it. Currently, there is sadly only one map, but I can see that this will change quite quickly after the release. So let's go on over to the summary. This game is a wonderful city builder. It's one of the best medieval city builders that I've played in a while. It's more of a smaller scope. It's not a huge scope empire builder like Songs of Six or Mountain Banner Lord. It all stays more like on the local city builder scale, but it is amazing. The experience curve of the game is very nice. The world starts out very small and easy. You start out plucking some berries, you start out hunting some game, you start tending that leather, then you have to think about how the heck does the agriculture work, where do I get all the workers from, heck, where does my, how do I replant all my forests, all those little things. If you are new to the genre, it's surely a challenge. If you are familiar to the genre, it's a pleasant experience to get through these things. What I really also like is that the game feels very innovative without forcing in too many weird mechanics. Yes, I did say it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, the whole work mechanics feel streamlined, smooth, and well thought through. It's, like I said, it feels innovative because there is not much jank. It's very clean in all the things that you do. You don't have to calculate annoyingly around. Most of the information that you're looking for is easily accessible, and in that regard, I must say, wow, well done. All in all, it's one of the most impressive early access versions that I played in a while, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it. If you love Banished, you will surely love this game as well, because it, to me, feels like the spiritual successor of this game in many, many ways. And if this is only the beginning of the journey, I can't imagine where we're going to end up, because this is just a very, very impressive beginning. Well, that's all I have to say for now, and I hope you enjoyed. Leave me your comments, leave me your thoughts about the game, what you're thinking about it. Are you already looking forward to it? And of course, thumbs up and the subscriptions are very, very welcome. Check out the description box. Very many thanks for watching this video. See you all next time.